Okay, and we just need Larry Holcomb, only Larry Holcomb, to hit star and then 6, and we'll get started. Go ahead, Larry. Let me know when you're on.
I'm on.
All right, great. Well, welcome to the call, Larry. Just to let everybody know, this call is being recorded, and so I have to give my disclaimer. Anything that's said or written into the text chat area on our webinar can be repurposed as FlexKom sees fit. So welcome to the call, Larry.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you having me on. Larry.
Well, we appreciate you, Larry, out there in the field. You know, what do they call it? The bleeding edge. So the first adapters, the first people out there in the field, in any field, getting things done, they are the trailblazers, and of course, they go through the bumps and the hurdles. So, got a lot of lumps on this one, Larry?
I got a lot of lumps, yes, but I'm tough-skinned, as AJ Krause says.
Well, I think the benefits that you're going to get from this, I mean, you know, our logo, our slogan is "We benefit people." I think you're really going to reap some incredible benefits from the things that you kind of suffered through here, getting us lit up, going green down there in the south.
As of yesterday, I can see the benefits, Larry. And like I told on, it was on Bill Reside's show this morning. When I look at my back office for my merchant account, and I see $5, and then when I go to my GTM account, I see $8, and the realization is that's that extra 10% I get from being a market manager, and I'm close to being a sales manager. So, I mean, that extra 5% you get for each step you go up is tremendous. Can you imagine the difference between $5 and $8 for 5%? Or that's 10% for that. What that'll be when you do that by 1,000? That's huge.
I think that's something that a lot of folks, and maybe you could just spend a moment or two explaining that there's basically 3 different phases. Phase 1 is where you're putting together your sales organization, and yeah, it's a pretty lucrative compensation plan. We have promotions all the time, but from my doing the math, real money is in phase 3 and on, where you're actually getting the compensation like you were just talking about.
That's correct. When you go to sign in at merchants, of course, I was able to sign my own store up. I sent another merchant agreement in today for one of my GTMs next door to me, and I can't wait to get it approved because I'll get the overrides from that. But, of course, everybody signs on, they get 5% from being a GTM. But you get the market manager, you get 10%. So as a merchant, I get 12%. As a GTM, I get 12%. And being a market manager, I get 10%. Those numbers add up pretty quick.
Yes, they do. It's amazing. And when you look at that, have you ever done any other direct sales or MLM opportunities?
No, I've owned my own business. This is a first for me.
Well, here's the thing. I've worked with different companies and been in MLMs ever since I was 9 years old. Every single MLM talks about residual income, but this is the first direct sales company, and we're not an MLM at all, but the first opportunity where a residual income is built into the model.
And as we've said before, this is not a long run. It's a short sprint. We talked about 6 months. I think a year down the road, the stores that I've signed up and got online and helped them, I don't want to say babysit, but I've got them where they can handle it on their own. We're basically through. I mean, you can get out and just enjoy life. And that's part, you don't do that in all M&Ms. You have to keep working, my understanding, to make sure that the drop shifts don't stop and people keep buying.
Absolutely. And then once again, I mean, we talk about this, and we're going to talk about this again in great detail on May 31st at the KTM event in Atlanta, Georgia. We have 2 certification classes going on there, so definitely send an email to American support at FlexKom.com. If you can get there, you have to purchase a ticket for the KTM event in order to attend the certification classes, but we also have a leadership class led by none other than Asker Sinkamas that basically is going to teach you about the thing I have to say is when you look at any other opportunity, they're selling lotions or potions. They're selling 1 or 2 or maybe 10 things. Our opportunity is on all things, everything that somebody might buy, tires to lotion to toothbrushes, whatever.
Well, that's exactly right. And when you get a merchant signed up, you can just basically give out apps to your friends and make a good living. Somebody talked about buying a $2,200 position and getting 1,000 apps. You can make a fairly good living if you just give out the apps and they expand it by 2, you know?
Exactly. So when you're looking at that, and there's some brand new people on the call, from my understanding, or at least brand new people that will listen to the recording. When you are a global team member, you can sign up a customer simply by kissing them. Kissing is a simple 800 kilobyte app that they download. Just takes a couple of seconds, and then you, as a global team member or as a store, generate a QR code, and they scan that QR code, give their email address, and then boom, they're a customer. You get overrides on their activity, and if you're a customer, you can do the same thing. You kiss your friends and your frontline friends, you get an override from that. So you're going to see ads on Facebook and Twitter all over the place where customers, this is my personal opinion, where customers are out there saying, help me get my car. Kiss this app. It's going to go viral in a way. Go ahead.
I'm looking in my merchant back office and at home, and I'm looking at my GTM back office. I'm pushing close to 30 apps that I've given away so far. Wow. And my goal next week is have at least 150 before I go to the KTM event, if not more. And that's the basis of the whole thing, is giving the app to the customer. And as soon as my cards get to working, I could give away 500 cards real easy. Because I still have quite a few people that still have flip phones, or I run across a couple of Windows, or what is the other one? BlackBerries. But I could have 300 cards out already if I had those. But the idea is, I've got people just waiting for me to give them the app. My business, I'll be waiting on one customer, and somebody else comes in. I said, I was going to give you an app. They'll just stop and wait on me 10, 12 minutes because they want an app that pays. First off, they just want an app. But when I tell them I'm going to get them an app that pays, they'll even come back the next day to get the app if it didn't work the first day. And it's not that it didn't work. We couldn't get it downloaded because of the poor connection from the cell phone. But
understood. And
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was looking at my back office where my numbers are. Oh, here it is. I've got 22. I've given away 22 apps through my business. I've given away about 14 off my phone, and I've given some away for my GTMs to get my kissing bonus. I get my GTMs to send me a picture, and then I give them away at my business. That makes sense?
It makes absolute sense, and dollars as well.
When I go to my back office, I gave one to one of my employees, and he went to the Park Place restaurant and had an evening meal, and that shows up in my back office because I got paid off of him when he went to another business. That's one of the first, I think, to have somebody go to another business and I get paid. Does that make sense?
It makes absolute sense, and when you're looking at this, and there's the naysayers out there, we'd be stupid to say that they don't exist. What they don't understand is they don't see how far along we are. Yes.
They want it to happen, and basically it's happening as we speak. And when we get back from the KTM event, I think there's going to be a lot happening. I really do. I can see writing on the wall, as they say.
Yes, and for instance, when you travel over to Europe, and like I said before on this call, it's amazing how the penetration is becoming ubiquitous, where you can look around on a corner in certain parts of Italy and certain parts of Germany, and you'll see multiple locations that have their FlexKom QR codes there, and people literally smiling from making these transactions. I think people come into with an expectation of all technology, and it won't work, and then it works, and they're just happy.
I heard. Got a lot of background there, Larry. Is that you?
No, that's not me. Let me do this. Well, actually, somebody has.
Hello, I'm with you. I'm from Alaska. That's why you see a background. Okay,
thanks very much.
My name is Alex.
Please hit star and then 6. Okay, we're doing an interview. Then we'll come and talk to you in a minute.
Okay, I'm muting.
Okay, thank you.
Amazing to have somebody from Alaska.
Well, that's how far the news has traveled. We've had people from Alaska, from Nome, from Genoa, all over Alaska asking about FlexKom. We've got emails and calls in, and what happened is they're like, well, I had a friend of a friend who's talking about this opportunity as a customer. So the news travels fast. When it's good news, it travels incredibly fast.
Well, I've got probably 1,200 LinkedIn connections that I made that I started when I started FlexKom, and a lot of them I've talked to, and a lot of them have gone by the wayside because of the bad press. But a lot of them now are beginning to come back and say, "Hey, somebody mentioned this, and I remember you talked to me first." So I think after the KTM event, the word's going to spread pretty fast, and the sign-ups are going to go way up. I'll have people all over the country. I've already got one underneath me in Brussels now, which I never dreamed would happen. That somebody told me, you'll have people outside the United States. I said, not this country, boy, but now I actually have people outside the United States. Let me ask you a question. I'm looking at my back office, and it says sales confirmed, which are green, and settled, it says still open. Will I be paid after the still open is closed, or how does that work?
Basically, what you're looking at there is you're seeing a transaction actually take place. So once you have settled at the end of the day or whenever you settle up, then funds transfer and balance out, then you'll see those turn green.
Do I have to do anything physically to my merchant back office to make that happen? Or does it happen automatically?
Yes, you actually do once you get to where you're near your minimum. So, for instance, if you set yourself up with like a $50 in ACH,
yes,
then you get down to half of that, and then you'll need to update it to put more cash.
Well, I sent my merchant agreement in with 50 on it, but I sent a revision in today for 500, and I hope that will be changed. So I won't get paid until those that say still open are confirmed, right, or settled.
That's right. So, that's basically what it's talking about. So for folks that are just now listening in, I can see at least one or two people just popped in. We're talking about in the merchant back office, and I'm trying to log into it right now so I can show people what we're talking about. Let's see. Almost in there now.
If those are settled, my commissions are going to jump way up.
That's right. Exactly. Okay. I got my back office showing here, and this is you can see a transaction in this back office when you get into the dashboard. So that's what we're talking about, is funds that were transacted today, and this is a test account, so no funds will ever really turn green in this. Let's see if we can go into...
I'm under finance and sales. I'm under sales.
Sales. All right, so we're going into sales here, and these are I don't know if you can see my screen, but we had a bunch of transactions today, and these are unconfirmed. Now, if this was a real store and we had put in our ACH escrow, I just call it ACH escrow, but it's not really ACH escrow. It's ACH. And we had, say, $500 in there or $1,000 in there, then these transactions would just turn green. They wouldn't even argue because...
Under status, mine says status, and it says confirmed in green. To the right, that is another column. It says settled, and it says still open.
Okay, mine does confirm.
Okay, mine doesn't have the choice. Mine doesn't have that choice like you do, where it says unconfirmed, confirmed, enable sales. Mine doesn't have that.
All right, well, let me take a look at your account then. I'll take a look. You should have that.
Okay, I'm looking at both pages. Okay. It's got total confirmed commissions down at the bottom, total, but I don't have those choices that you show above yours.
All right, you're in sales?
I'm in sales, yeah.
So finance and then sales, right?
Finance and then sales, yes. I want to do it again just to be sure I'm in the right place. Yes, and I've got all the customers listed just like you've got.
Okay.
Oh, now, wait a minute. It just changed. Now it says released. Oh, my gosh. My commissions just went up to, my commissions went way up.
Yeah, so basically what you're looking at.
I'm sorry. I was under commissions, Larry. I apologize. Let me go to sales. I was under commissions. Okay. But I still don't have those choices.
So under finance and then sales, you should have unconfirmed, confirmed, and enabled sales. You do not?
Do not, no.
All right, and this is, I'll just go off the email. Like the last email you gave me, it's that ID number, right?
Yes. And on the far right, it says status released.
Okay, so I'll take a look at that. This is a test account that was created a long, long time ago, so it may have things that they moved away from. So,
well, they may. Do you think they settle them automatically? We don't have to do that possibly, or is that an option?
Yeah, in yours, you're probably yours is automatic because you have ACH. So
yes, I have ACH.
Right, you'd only see these fields if you're at 50% of your ACH or $50, whichever is higher, as all that you have left.
Okay.
So in your case, you started with 50, so you're probably already at a point where it's going to wait until we update it.
Because I just sent my letter in today to raise it to 500, so that's probably correct.
Yeah, and I saw that. I handed that off to accounting, so it's in process.
Well, that's going to be exciting because it may not happen until Tuesday or Wednesday, but that's going to make my commissions jump way up when those are released, right?
Yes, it will. And now what's going to happen from this? And let's kind of get the big picture here. At first, when a store first starts up, especially when they're starting up new, like we are here, where Phase 3 is not across the entire United States, then at first you're going to be putting more money into the system than you're getting out of it. But as a merchant, as you're kissing out and there's more of your customers, like you said, go across the street and there's a Flex store there, you're going to start to get that residual that's going to pay you back. And so the way that this model works is that fairly soon, once we get a good density, and that's why we're talking about this, and you've heard Volker speak on this before, and Peter Gunevald speak about this, you want to have nexus. You want to have a center of activity and build out from there. That way, the customer is seeing their rebates build, and the merchants are actually being rewarded by their customer that they kiss going across the street and shopping elsewhere. So that's what you're experiencing, and that's what, again, you're a pioneer. You're seeing some cash go into this system, and even that, let's just look at that. Even if we compared this form of advertising to, say, putting flyers on windshields, or even worse, the yellow pages, this is a much better advertising tool than anything else that's available.
Yes. It's if I didn't get anything out of it other than this point, I have some very happy customers that I've given $2, $3, $5 back. They are so excited. They appreciate me. They appreciate my business. And as of next week, I've only been live for 2 days. As of next week, because I'm one of the few people that have given money away, those people are going to start bringing that money back to me myself.
Oh, yes.
Does that make sense?
You're going to have customers come out of the woodwork saying, hey, I want that app. I want that card. And we are working on a solution to get cards in the online store for you. We're going to expedite that. It was on the path, but we said we got folks in the South that need this sooner rather than later.
Right. Did you check on getting mine activated? But we'll talk about that later, okay?
Yeah, I put that through, expedited it.
That's fine. But, the benefits, when I call on, let's talk about me calling on merchants, what I tell them the benefits is that you make happy customers. That's what loyalty is. They're more loyal to you. I said the advertising, I talked to a antique store the other day, and I was telling her that I was going to give her a terminal as a KTM. And I said, now they're going to take $500 out of your account immediately. I suggested she do $500. And I said, and she turned around and said, well, I just paid $1,000 for this little flyer to give 10% away. And she said, they have to bring it in. And she said, out of all that money I spent, I've got one customer come in. And so $500
and she's
for them.
Lucky. She's lucky.
Go ahead. She's lucky to get one.
No, she's lucky that she got that.
Yeah. But when you explain the benefits, this is worth $4,000 to $5,000 to a merchant at the minimum. I mean, we worry about the terminal is going to be $900, but when you explain the benefits, I tell somebody, I said, what's it worth to have 10 pictures of your store or your specials on every phone on every FlexKom phone in the world? I mean, of course, we worry about within 5 miles. That's where your business comes from. But they said, oh, that's worth a lot. I said, what's it worth to be able to have your phone number on that app, have your website on that app, and as a restaurant, have your menu on the app? And the antique store, I said, you get new stuff in and you know what's popular. Put it on the app. I said, put a picture on there. There are going to be people looking at your antique store to see, oh, what did they post today? And I get excited, so I have to talk slow. And I tell my grandson when he gets excited, just stop and breathe. This is what's fun. When I give an app to a customer, and I say, now you give this to your friends, and you're going to get 4 cents back for every dollar they get. That's correct, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And that,
front line. Right. I have to clarify that. Front line.
From just to the person they give to now, but it happens to the next line to the front line, right?
Well, right now the promotion is only one deep, so it's only to the customer's front line. Okay. As we expand, it'll open up, I'm certain. And that's my personal feeling. Okay.
But I said, you're going to be looking at your phone way too much because you're going to be looking at it, and the people you've given to front line are going to see they'll have $1, they'll have $2, they'll have $5 because the people they've got are out shopping. I said, you're going to be staring at your phone because those numbers on that flex money are just going to roll up. I said, you just talk about people getting addicted looking at the phone. Now they're going to look at it and watch their bank account go up. Does that make sense?
It does. I told them in a meeting when I was in Germany, I said we should, on the app itself, when you're logged into the app only, it should make a cha-ching sound.
I love it.
or a cash register. Every time somebody you kissed makes a transaction, cha-ching.
That is cool. But I said, you're going to be looking at your phone because you're going to look at it and you go back and you got another $1. You look at it again, I got $4 more. I'm like, you're going to get up in the morning, first thing you do is going to grab your phone. Who spent money last night? I mean, they get truly excited. And I tell them when they leave, I said, now, kiss as many people as you can. I said, you take this and go to all the small businesses you have and ask them, do y'all take FlexKom? If you don't, go see Larry Holcomb, and I give them several cards.
You are a sly fox, my friend. Now, we were talking about KTM, so we have to clarify this. At the end of this month, on May 31st, is our KTM event. This is the only KTM event scheduled for America. For you folks that aren't kind of in the know about what the KTM is, the KTM is an opportunity for people who want to purchase terminals in bulk before the price goes up on the terminals, and place them in stores in FlexKobies at no charge to the store. They're not giving them to them. They still own the terminal, but they're placing them there, and they get an override of 20% from the FlexKom side of the equation. We'll go into that detail on that sometime next week. So the KTM event is May 31st. There are certification trainings on Friday and Sunday around the event, and there's also a leadership training with Asker on that Sunday as well. So it's a great event. In Europe, I went to the opening of Italy and the KTM event there. Thousands of terminals were sold in just a matter of a couple of hours. And that's because here the price is going up worldwide. The price is going up to €699. Let's just say that's going to be more than $900 per terminal here in America. And when people say, well, the terminal is only worth a couple $100, well, the technology of the terminal itself is only worth a couple $100, that Android tablet. But just like when you have servers running Cisco software in an enterprise, the actual computers are $2,000 or less. The actual software is about $250,000 for the software. So that's what we're talking about here: the software and the accoutrement, all the things that work in the background, like we're showing the back office for a merchant. All those things are what you're getting, not just the software, even on the tablet, but this back end. Even the customer has a back office. So there's a lot of back end on this, and that's what you're paying for. You're paying for the customer having a back office. You're paying for the merchant having a back office. You're paying for you having a back office. So there's a lot going on here, and that tablet is a vehicle to deliver that service to all three of those parties. Real quick, I also want to go over the pricing. So we did kind of touch on that. The terminals will go up to over $900 US after the KTM event. At the KTM event, you can, if you're a global team member or partner, then you can. You have to be a GTM or GTM VIP. You can sign yourself up as a KTM. That process will be revealed on the day of the event, so May 31st. We'll explain that process. You can buy one terminal for just $499. You can buy a 5-pack for $2,375 or $479 per terminal. And you could buy an option of a 10-pack for $4,490 plus tax and shipping. So all three of these different levels of purchase you also have to add in tax and shipping. We can't tell you what that is because it's based off the zip code of the KTM. So the tax will be calculated at the event. The shipping will be calculated at the event because it depends. Just like we have a couple of people on this call right now, we only have like 6 people on this call, but I believe at least one of them and maybe 2 of them are from Alaska. We can't tell you exactly what the shipping is until you tell us which one of these packages you're going for and what your zip code is. So that's just to catch everybody up. May 31st is the KTM event. On May 30th, we have basically a training, a certification training. Peter Grunewald and myself will tag team on these certification trainings, and then on June 1st, we have a KTM related certification training and a leadership training as well. All right, so Larry, let's see where we're at time-wise. Okay, good. We're doing great. One of the things I wanted to ask you about, and you've talked to other merchants, when you explain to them that our opportunity, A, is out there and live in Europe, but B, if they have a customer, they kiss that customer goes to their rival across town, they get paid for that. What do they say when you tell them that?
That kind of blows their mind because first they'll look at you like, well, you ask them the 4 basic questions. Do you have a loyalty rewards program? Do you get paid cash back? How do you do advertising? I can't think of that one. But you ask them, do you get paid when your customer goes to your competition? They'll look at you like, no. But with this app, you can. And when they realize, when you go a little bit deeper and explain to them that when they shop at your competition, that you're going to get 12 cents back. And then I want to tie this into that, Larry, because I'm looking at my back office, and it's so exciting. I wish everybody could see this. But when I look at my commissions, or I look at my customers, I give 21 apps away in the last few weeks, okay? I go to look at my commission. I've made $10. Now, this is off my own store, okay? But I made $10 off of 21 people, okay? Think about that as a GTM. But you think about that store, what if I get to 1,000 or I get to 2,000, and those people are shopping in the network, not just for me. We don't really know what 1,000 people are going to do. We've used Turkey's numbers that we hope they're going to spend $100. They're going to get $5 back. We're going to get 60 cents. That's just crazy low. We're going to have people paying us not 60 cents a month, in my opinion. We're going to get $3, $5, $7 a month from people because people are going to shop so much more in the United States. It's unbelievable. I think the numbers that we've been using and playing with are super low. Because if this is the numbers I get off of my 21 people shopping at my store, and then they hit the market and start shopping all over the place, it's going to be huge. I mean, I can't talk numbers, but trust me, it's going to be great for the GTM.
We already have real estate companies in the hotbed down there in Georgia, Atlanta, Tennessee area, even Florida and Texas talking to us already. So the partners are talking to them because Florida and Texas are very close to being in the same status as you are and about to go live. And basically, don't try and tie me down on times. You know how I am. I say no exact dates that are in the future, only in the past. Like the date that we opened for Larry was yesterday. So that's the way I roll. But we have something like a real estate agent looking at this. And it's not just the real estate agents, it's broker companies as well as agents, but it's a full spectrum. We already have car dealers that have talked to us through partners as well, and we explained, probably what happens in Europe is not necessarily off discounts off the car per se, but discounts off the service. That's what's big in Europe, and they're like, wow, yeah, that's perfect. That's what we do anyway. It's like there you go.
It's just
we're talking about full spectrum discounts.
Well, I know you're probably not going to have the calls next week, but I would love to get on next week and tell people what's happened after a week, because I think even after a week, these numbers are going to start jumping pretty fast, especially when I have my business that's next door to me online, and I hope to have possibly as high as 3 to 5 more merchants online by next week.
Well, let's just do this, Larry. I know that leadership in Europe is telling me to kind of follow the numbers, but let's go ahead and for the rest of this, the rest of this month at least, let's try and do these calls at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and record them. And it'd be great to have you tag team with me and talk about what's going on and really kind of get a real-time feel for what it's like there as you're building and as we're turning green. I mean, this is amazing.
Well, aren't we okay to do, because I'm a merchant, I can give my merchant's numbers. We can't tell as a GTM and brag about our numbers. But as a merchant, I'm okay to tell people what I make, correct? If I understand.
When you have to put on that different hat, you have to put on that different hat and you have to do that disclaimer, but yes.
Yes. So, I mean, I can get on here legally talk about what I see in my back office as a merchant. I shouldn't talk about GTM, I'm correct, but I can talk about I can talk about my merchant account all day long. And if anybody's got any sense, they know we match checks, so that's pretty easy, okay? When you think about signing up a merchant.
Yeah. I'm just checking what somebody wrote online here. Hold on for a second.
Okay.
Okay, they're going to want me to go over the pricing again, so we'll do that in just a second. But go ahead.
I'll be quiet. Go ahead and do that for them. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. You go while I get my notes together, so go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, but when you realize I can talk about my merchant account next week, and my numbers were going to go up quite a bit when my ACH goes up. But, and you realize that a GTM matches check for what a merchant does. So I can legally talk about this and share with other people.
Yes.
But the numbers, when we talked about before, because I'm giving away, my sales are average $50 to $100. So if I give $100 away, they've already hit their $5 minimum that we always talked about in the past, that we thought each customer would get $5 a month. But no, I honestly believe those numbers are going to be quadruple or not higher than that. So the GTMs that are in now or getting in the future are going to be, as AJ says, by cold weather, we're all going to be pretty financially set, to quote AJ Krause.
You'll have a nice fur coat, faux fur, not a real animal.
Well, I have a small farm besides my business, and I'm selling a few cows because they're expensive right now, and turning those into KTMs. So we're going to have KTMs with leather hide, and then I'm looking for another farm for next year because I'll spend my money then. Okay.
That's awesome. You know, this is when you're probably listening the other night when that person. That grumpy cat was on, and I'm not going to apologize. I'm actually so excited. I'm at my anniversary. I'll be a year in this company in June, in next month.
Okay.
And we've been working hard, putting together things. We've been cobbling and building hard for like 12 months. And so when people come on and say, "Oh, well, where's this and where's that at?" It's like, if only I could tell you all the things that I know that we're doing right now. I wish I could tell you.
Well, when I joined in October, the back office had like 3 things under downloads, maybe 4. Wasn't that about right?
It's about right. And they only worked like half the time. Yeah.
And this is what we thought we were going to open up in February and March, but to me personally, it's worked out perfect timing. My business is slowing down. So I'm going to beat the bushes and call on merchants. I'm going to have a lot of this done. Like I say, it's not a long run. This is going to be a short sprint. 6 months, it's all going to be done. We're going to be sitting back enjoying life. I really believe that. And that's what all MLMs taught, but they never come true because as soon as somebody quits buying and the drop shipping stops, it's over with.
Yep. Well, and also when you look at the fact that, and this is going to be wonderful for folks that are like you, that are out there as pioneers in building early and getting that duplication and true duplication, not like you hear about with other opportunities, but this is true duplication where the customer is so incentivized to kiss everybody they know. You're going to probably take a look at Brazil. Well, just speculating. I don't give dates, of course. But at some point, we're going to move into Brazil. And by then, with the time frames that you're talking about, you may even want to go down to Brazil.
Rio de Janeiro,
Rio de Janeiro. Who doesn't want to go to Brazil and open up a little leg down there? Why not?
That would be awesome. Well, yesterday, Bill Reside called me because when I went green, all the apps that I'd given away, all the discounts I'd given as a test store became real money. And Bill Resides said, Larry said, this is amazing. He said, I've actually got commissions in my back office because Bill's 2 steps up from me. And he said,
right.
you know, I see nickels, I see dimes, I see quarters. But I think Bill's at 20% because he's a sales director. But he said, and I called Vernon, the one that signed me up, Vernon Sinclair. And they're just amazed. They've got commissions in their office. You don't go much higher than Bill, though, do you?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
But Bill was so excited. He says, this is what I've been waiting on. He said he's looking at a few dollars, and he says, it's real. Where's the naysayers now? Because it goes all the way up the levels, just like it was promised, just like it's supposed to.
Yep. Absolutely.
And all the computer technology that you worked on is working. I'll give you a little credit.
Thank you, sir. Well, speaking of which, now we're coming up to a kind of a hard point in the system coming up at the end of the month. And the email's going to come out. So Sylvia sent an email in, sent a text in just now asking about the email. We're going to have an email about the KTM event, the KTM process. That's still being vetted, invested, and signed off on by everybody. I'm hoping that it comes out within the next 24 hours or so. Be looking for that. There'll also be a notification regarding your Hyper Wallet and needing to move funds there and pay yourself before the hard drop of the end of the month. So there's going to be an update there, and I'm just basically planting a seed in your mind that you're going to need to keep looking for those emails in your inbox. If you're not already subscribed with us over at FlexKom, let's pull this up, FlexKom America, Inc.com to get the daily emails. You want to subscribe to there, at least for the time being. Maybe set up a filter in your inbox so that all those emails that you're going to be getting in the next 3 weeks, and believe me, you're going to be getting a lot of emails every day because there's going to be breaking news that fast. I wish I could tell you what's going to happen, but just know you want to be subscribed to the daily email because things are going to be happening just that fast, that every day we're going to have an update. Something new is going to be released, something's going to be improved, so you're going to want to be engaged with us, absolutely. And if that's a lot of email to receive, then just set up a filter. Even AOL now, you can filter the mail, create a folder and filter the mail, and it has FlexKom in it, send it into this folder like that. That way it doesn't fill up your inbox. It goes into that folder. Also, if you don't give us your last name and your first name when you fill out this form, it will go into your junk mail, your bulk mail folder. We are sending out in bulk at once through a robot, so we need your first name and last name so that it comes into your inbox, and then you can set up a filter to put it into your specific folder. You really do want to be linked in with us, pun intended. We do have a LinkedIn account too now. Just look for FlexKom and LinkedIn. You can link up with us there. But you want to be engaged because, we've been steadily building. Yeah, things are a lot better. I mean, like you were saying, we only had 1 or 3 items in your downloads last year, and you had like a 1 in 10 chance that they'd actually download. Now there's tons of items in there, and there's about to be tons more. There's going to be tons more information up on our YouTube channel and Facebook. You want to be right there, thoroughly engaged with us so that you don't miss a thing. And for anybody that wants to be engaged with leadership, then on our Facebook page you can link up with Bill, with Larry, with all kind of folks, and get enthusiastic about this. This is something that you could truly change your life. You could truly have a residual income because this is actually built into the model. Others don't have this. And other opportunities, once again, we've talked about this already, Larry, other opportunities, it's about lotions and or potions or vitamins and some sort of vitamin drink, and that's it. With this, it's everything. What does somebody buy in the course of a week? That's what we're talking about. In the course of a month, what do they buy? It's even big ticket items because we're talking to real estate agents. We're talking to car dealerships. There are already car dealerships in Europe that are signed up with us. So it's it's really a full spectrum opportunity where you're not in just one vertical kind of category of product. It's all products.
And you're helping local merchants, which I'm one of, and you're helping customers. The customers are so excited about this, it's unbelievable. When they get a hold of this, they're going to be going to the merchants and say, "Why are you not on FlexKom?" I mean, that's going to happen in the very near future. they're going to be wanting cash back.
When you're looking at any other opportunity, they're pretty much usually only on items like lotions or potions.
Yes.
FlexKom is on services as well. Plumbers,
yes,
taxi cabs, you name it.
Oh, I've got, of course, I'm in the mulch business, which is the landscaping. I've got landscapers which don't have a physical store office that are signing up this just because they want to give the apps away. But they're going to give landscapes, you may do a landscape job for $10,000. So when they give a 10% discount, and which is very well done, they're giving away the $500 to a customer. But think about the person that gave that app to that person. That's pretty good commission. But,
yeah.
I mean, down in Mobile, AJ's got a gentleman that's selling $3,000 bicycles, and he's giving away. Well, what would that be? Several $100 back. Well, think about the person that gave that app to them, and all they did is give the app to that person. That's huge.
It's absolutely huge.
This 60 cents we're talking about that we've always played with the numbers and figured out what we'll get if each person gets 60 cents. Oh, that's just a drop in the bucket.
It is, but we like to be conservative. We don't want to overhype. And as far
you're not, but I am. Okay.
Well, when you look at this, it's also we're just saying, like, let's just say it's $1, $5 a month for one person or whatever. When you actually look at how people will react when there is we talk about the labyrinth concept. When there's a labyrinth of FlexKom stores, Flex stores, Flex Kobe's, and you go into a zone like Mobile, Alabama, and when you go to Mobile, you turn on your app and look around me, and you see that there's a whole bunch of things to do and to buy and to engage in. You're going to stay inside this system purchasing at multiple places. That's one of the reasons why we went for this nexus concept, where we want to build a hot zone of activities and then build out from there.
Yes. I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting the other day, and we were talking about going on vacation, and everybody in our area goes to Panama City. Most areas have some place to go for vacation. But he said, when we go on vacation, we don't like to eat at Red Lobster or O'Charlie's, that we look for mom and pops or seafood shops. That's well, with this app, you can pull up Panama City and look for seafood, and you can plan your vacation where you're going to eat before you get there. Because half the fun of vacation is planning anyway, because when you get there, it's over with. So I said, you can plan your vacation. Look, here's Bob's Crab Shack. We can go eat there. They're giving 5% FlexKom back. Here's what it is. Here's a picture of the front of the business. Here's their address, their phone number, and possibly even their menu. So look what you can do for vacation planning with your Flex app.
Absolutely. And when you're looking at the at something like you're talking about, seafood is what you're looking for. You're going to see plenty of food. It's where you're going to see different aspects of that. I mean, at first it's going to be pretty much one kind of seafood shop. What we talked about in general, vertical markets. You're going to approach different vertical markets and kind of have one leader inside that same zip code for that vertical market. But when you're looking at like an area that has, most of these tourist places, they actually have a pretty good density of shops. And so you'll be able to have one seafood shop on one corner of town and another on the other, and they really aren't going to be face-to-face competing like that.
Correct.
So you'll be able to do more than one.
It'd be so fun to plan ahead.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And for Rick, who's saying that he's trying to call in, send an email to AmericanSupport@FlexKom.com, and we'll get that directly to Paige and to Gene. So send an email to AmericanSupport@FlexKom.com. Once again, the phone, we have some 14 lines here. It's not the most efficient way, 14 lines, but each time one of our people is engaging with somebody on the phone, it takes a while. Whereas if you do an email, we can actually execute that email, complete that email while we're talking to somebody else. So when we're talking on the phone, it's kind of one person at a time. But while we're talking to that person on the phone, we are able to execute multiple emails in the course of one phone call. Everybody here is a multitasker.
Larry, can I ask you a merchant question? I was kind of binge here. When are they going to Americanize the business part of the app? So it's more Americanized. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. We're working on that. That's one of the things that's going to roll out with our initiatives that I can't talk about just yet. Just a couple of days away. Well, basically, just know that we're working on that. And one of the things that we want to have, and this is because America is unique in so many ways. I love America. There's only one place that Larry Skinner could actually exist, and that's America. But America is like 50 different countries with 50 different cultures. And so when Europe's looking at America, they thought America is one homogeneous thing from New York to California, and we had to explain that they're completely wrong.
They haven't been to Georgia yet.
They haven't been to Georgia. Now they have, and they're like, okay, we see it is different. California is nothing like New York. Nothing.
No.
We drive on the same side of the road, for example, but that's about it. So we had to kind of let them understand that America's culture is diverse and it's a full spectrum. And also our tax laws, our rules, our regulations, they're all different. Each of the 50 states has to be conquered. For Alaska, we're working hard on Alaska. Alaska has a lot of rules about online commerce that we are working on. For the person, Rick, send an email to where you get your email blast from, which is FlexKomNorthAmerica@gmail.com. That's FlexKomNorthAmerica@gmail.com. There we go. FlexKom America at gmail.com. And if you're not able to send mail to, because sometimes it happens, especially with AOL or some small email client, you can't send to a place that doesn't have like 10 million email sent a day. So with our Gmail accounts, they get billions of emails a day, so that'll definitely work. I'll type it into the text field for you here. There's always a way to contact us. The same place that we blast our emails from is FlexKomNorthAmerica@gmail.com. So you can just reply to those blasts, and we'll get that over to FlexKom American Support at FlexKom.com. And then once you get an email from American Support at FlexKom.com, simply reply back to it. Even if you don't need to, that'll make your email client recognize it as on your list of approved email recipients and senders. So you're going to get an email from American Support at FlexKom.com after you send one to us at our Gmail account, and then you just need to reply to that. And then even AOL, once you reply back to it, it says, okay, this guy must really want to talk to these guys. Okay? Okay. All right. So that's one of those little technical things that people don't believe, but it's true. As we have more and more mail come to our FlexKom domain, we rise up in this algorithm that these different companies, like AOL is the worst at it. AOL basically doesn't think your email address exists unless your domain gets something like, I think it's like 100,000 hits a day, 100,000 emails a day. So that's just AOL, and that's just the way they roll. We'll definitely exceed that coming up very soon.
You got several.
Go ahead.
You got several for me, so that added to it. And I'll have to tell everybody that please send an email in because they're very prompt about getting back to you very quickly with the precise answers. It is definitely the way to go, not to make phone calls.
Yeah, the phone call, we'll call you back if we need to clarify, but basically when people write when they take the time to write it down, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, it's easy for us to escalate it, plus it makes you more succinct. It is human nature. We're all good people. We're all nice people. It's human nature to not jump into the question first. It's human nature to say, how's the weather? How's the family? Before you ask your question. Whereas when you're typing, it's like bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. So definitely
that's correct, but it's so much. When I send an email in, I try to number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in short blank questions, and I know it makes it easier for y'all on your end.
Absolutely, especially if it's something that we can't do here in this office, and we have to get it over to Europe. We can just take your verbatim and even extricate it from that email and send it exactly as written, and it's like, there it is, fix that. And they go, oh, okay, got it. And for instance, like when we try and sometimes we have to translate it depending on which department we're talking to because they don't have good English over there. And so when you send us a bullet point and we get it, we understand it, then the translation is much easier. If we have to be basically taking notes while we're talking to you on the phone, a lot, even there, that we dropped some of the data. That it's just human nature. Unless you're a stenographer, you can't just write down what people say in real time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, correct. That's
exactly.
And of course, eventually, I think within a year, we're going to have quite a bit of money coming into our GTM accounts. But I'm just thinking about people, the customers looking at their phone, watching their money climb. When I get apps out and there's more stores in my area, I'm going to come in at night every night and look at my GTM account and just watch my commissions go up. Because you're going to have people out shopping, eating. I mean, like, wait a minute, there it goes. The numbers are just, I'm sorry. It's actually going to happen, and it's going to happen in the very near future when we've got a couple hundred terminals all ready to put out in Chattanooga right now. So after the KTM, it's going to be crazy good.
It's going to be crazy good. It's amazing how, for instance, like when we were over there in Europe, I was there at Page, and we were there for meetings and so forth. But we also went out and tested the systems, and it's amazing how. And I keep saying this because the cliche for Americans is you go out to Europe and the waiters are just snooty, right? And so I really expected some pushback, especially when we were somewhat rude. We paid for our order, right? And then after we paid for it, we said, "Oh, we're FlexKom." And we thought we're going to get this, "Oh, how dare you," and all this. No. Absolutely happy to do it. Absolutely happy to come back. It was like it almost made them skip back up to the terminal, skip back to say, "Here's, you got your discount. There you go." It was like amazing. The thing that we thought would be the bottom and the problem, the waiters were actually happy to do it.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, and they didn't know they had no idea. These are they thought we were regular tourists wearing bad clothing with cameras around our necks, right? They were like, they were happy to see us. They're very happy that we were FlexKom.
Well, that is great. That's great. Well, I'm excited. I mean, I have to contain myself. Of course, this time of night I'm pretty tired, but on Bill's call this morning, I had to slow down and talk slow. But to see it happen and to be lucky enough to have a store, to be able to see the merchant side and to be a GTM to see it on that side, I mean, I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to get in on this opportunity.
It's amazing. And when you look at any, basically I've been admonished for talking about our enemies, to ignore them is what they want. Let's just say this. Nobody in this country is as far along as we are. Nobody.
No.
And we're accelerating. We're about to hit the gas again. And these people, they'll be able to see our Doppler shift as we move away from them yet again. So just know that you're in the right place at the right time with an incredible opportunity. And don't let the grumpy cats get your ear. You really don't want to listen to them. You want to listen to folks like yourself. Get on that Bill Resides show. Listen to the excitement. It's palpable. It's contagious.
And I think after June the 1st, it's going to be a different world for FlexKom in the United States.
Yeah.
Totally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so we're going to wrap this up because I can already hear these guys. My next Skype is coming up here. I'm going to have to get on that line. Once again, it's great to have you on. Next week we'll kind of play it by ear, but definitely want to have you come on, especially if once you sign up a couple more people, we'll talk about that process.
Okay.
And I'm going to, unless you got something to say, I'm going to wrap this recording up.
Thank you, Larry.
All right, so you're very welcome. Let me wrap up this recording real quick.